Well, hello there. My name's Andrew Mason from the School of Arts and Communication here at the University of Southern Queensland, and with me is...
Thomas Barnhazy from the Faculty of Health, Engineering and Science, obviously from the same university.
And we're here to talk to you about Friday at the Flicks, which is Artsworks film season for 2017, and the film Project NIM.
It's a very interesting film, isn't it? And it's especially interesting because none of us seen that before.
No.
We actually included that film in this series on the recommendation of a mutual friend.
Yeah.
But I have a special interest in that film, given my professional background is in animal production, animal science related area. And I think that the whole issue of human-animal interaction or relationship between humans and animals is a very interesting area. In addition, this is our first documentary film in the series, so I'm very proud of that. And hopefully we will actually show a few more documentary films, not just feature films.
Yeah.
And this basically try to dissect what makes us human and how we relate to animals, as far as I understand.
Well, the film is, like you said, it's a documentary made in 2011 about an experiment that took place in the 1970s where a chimpanzee was raised as a human baby to see if they could develop language skills that were similar to humans. Now, this is based, well, the reason it's called NIM is because there's a famous American linguist, Noam Chomsky. So they called this little chimpanzee Nim Chimpsky as a bit of a pun. And he was taken, I think, from about 2 weeks old and raised with a family in a normal sort of suburban house and taught sign language. And he did learn to sign quite a lot of language. And this film documents what happens when, with that particular case. There was an earlier study actually done in America as well where they tried to teach a chimpanzee language. And this was the second of that study, and probably the more famous one. And it was so well documented that much of what we'll see on screen is actually file footage, as well as there's some reenactments. But it's a really interesting topic, and particularly nowadays, like chimpanzees are particularly endangered these days. There's the ethics of using animals in research and experiments to be explored as well.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And also, like you say, the connection between us and the ape family of the animal world. You know, how close are we to chimpanzees? Do animals have language? Those sorts of questions are raised as well.
Absolutely. I think it's also interesting, isn't it, that this documentary film or the event was prior David Attenborough, which basically brought animals and animal interaction into the living room of everyone, essentially.
Yeah.
I think David Attenborough did a great deal of good in terms of bringing science and nature closer to everyone.
That's right.
That was before that time. So I think that exploration of human-animal interaction is a really, really interesting area.
Yeah.
There are no answers as such, I understand, in the film, but it's certainly not about so much the animal themselves, although you know, the main character, so to say, in a documentary film is a chimp. But it's about us humans, how we relate to not even animals, but someone different to us. You know, someone you know, with a fair bit of difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
And these issues are deeply human.
That's an interesting perspective on it, and I suppose broadly from that too, not only how we relate to other people or animals, but to the world around us. And what interested me was, and this film has sad moments to it. In fact, the whole thing you could look at as being quite a sad thing. The fact that he was raised as a human, and then after the experiment was over, they sent him off to a primate research centre.
That's right. Discarded, so to say.
You wouldn't do that with a child, so it seems very odd. But anyway, it's a very compelling film as a documentary. That's Project NIM on Friday the 24th of March at 6:30 p.m. at the Artsworks Theatre here at the University of Southern Queensland, Toowoomba. And we hope to see you there for the film. And
definitely, and there will be always a bit of glass of wine and a little bit of finger food after that. So I think one of the joys of this series that like-minded people will stay after the film and discuss, exchange ideas and enjoy a little bit of wine in the process,
And I
which
think-
is very civilised.
Yes, I think there'll be a lot to discuss with this film too.
Please
So
do.
check it out on the Artsworks website. That's Project NIM on the 24th of March, 6:30 p.m.